Okay, folks, I'm back with you, and I got Leah Edwards here. Hi, Leah.
Hi.
She's going to tell us a little about her horses. What's this? Is this a guy or a girl?
This is a girl. This is Calvary. She.
Calvary? Can I pet her?
Yes, you can. She's used to everybody. She was donated to my team about 1.5 years ago to use for our programs and performances, etc. She's doing very well. She likes to do the therapy and visit with the people.
Calvary, can you look around here?
The nursing home. And
can you get her to look around here? How you doing, girl? Yeah. There's a whole bunch of people out there that's going to like you.
She's done very well.
How old is she?
She is 15 years old.
15. How old does a horse normally get?
Average, if they make it to 30, that's good.
30. Now,
yes.
is there any differentiation in the age structure, like in dogs, for every year, 7 years?
It's pretty close to that, yes.
Is it?
Yes.
So then she'll actually be about 30 years old.
She's more middle age. So
okay.
15 would be about middle age.
Okay.
So.
And do you ride her? Or?
I do ride her. She is the horse I use in my performance. I had a buckskin that I used for several years, and he passed away this year.
Well, there you go, Calvary.
So
there, say hi to your audience.
Calvary became my POW horse in our performance, so I do ride her most of the time, but the other team members ride her as well when we're doing carriage rides.
Are you getting antsy there, Calvary, or are you counting for me?
Flies.
Flies. Okay. Who's this over here? Yeah. Can I walk around behind her and not get kicked?
You can.
Okay. Remember I told you I haven't rode a horse since Cub Scouts.
We probably need to get started here soon on class.
Okay.
Too, so we'll do
Who's this?
This is Rio.
Hi, Rio.
Rio is 19 years old. He's a quarter pony.
Okay, what's the difference between him and Calvary here? I see structure size.
Yeah, he's a mixed breed. She's a registered paint, even though she doesn't have any spots on her.
Okay.
But just like dogs. Some dogs only grow to be so big. Same with horses. He only grew to be that big.
Okay.
And he was a trail horse, camp horse, kind of a do-it-all horse, and I bought him in 2008. And he's been with my team ever since, and he's kind of a trickster. He likes to tie himself.
I see that. You're working on getting that thing untied, huh? Yeah. You're a pretty good boy. Calvary's talking to you there, Rio. Uh-oh. Mom's got to keep an eye on you because you'll be running down the street here, huh? That's all right, people out there in the wide world. I'm not nuts. I just like talking to animals. And you put them on him for when he's just walking up and down the street and stuff?
Not much. It's when he has a lot of weight on him, like when he's pulling the carriage.
Ah, is he a carriage horse?
Yes, he pulls the carriage.
He might be giving me a ride here pretty soon then.
He might be. He does pretty well pulling the carriage. I mean, when it's going downhill, it's a little bit of a challenge, but other than that, he pulls it well.
How long you been working with horses?
I've never had a horse of my own, but I have gone to like camps and stuff. Horses since I was around 6 or 7.
Yeah. How long you been working with Leah in the Freedom Equestrian Team?
About a month.
Yep.
Well, that's the start. We all have to start someplace, huh?
Yeah.
Okay, folks, so now we're going to take a carriage ride through the VA hospital here. Then we're going to be going over to one of the nursing homes and giving the vets a little chance to take a look at the horses. It's a pretty neat looking carriage, but it needs a little work. So if any of you's got a few extra bucks, let's get some money over here to Leah so we can fix these wheels and do something with this stuff here. And who's pulling this thing? What's his name?
Tank.
Tank?
Yeah.
I was a tank commander in the Army. Tank. Tank. You and I ought to get along just fine. Except mine was 56 tons and it had a main gun on it that could fire about 12 miles. You can fire too, can't you?
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Not 12 miles.
Right.
Okay.
That there used to be a monkey house.
That was a monkey house?
Yep.
Now what was it? Why did they have monkeys?
Well, way back when this first got started, there was about 7,000 veterans that lived out here.
Yeah.
They had a deer park, an alligator pond, a horse barn, riding center, and a monkey house.
Monkey
and
house.
of course, gardens and flowers and everything. The veterans that lived out here, they took care of all of that.
So you had your little zoo out here.
Yes.
Well, that's neat.
Well, as an act of Congress signed by President Lincoln March 3rd, 1865, that established the National Military Asylum for the relief of totally disabled officers and men of the volunteer force. It was a long name back then. So, yeah, they opened 3 branches, one in Maine and one in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and of course the third and the largest was here. They eventually changed the name to the National Home for Disabled Volunteer Soldiers in 1873. Now the building that we started at is the old Putnam Library. It was built in 1880. It originally served as the quartermaster building. The original design did not have these wings on the side. Those were added on later. Today it houses the American Veterans Heritage Center and the Miliary Valley History Museum. Now at this corner right here was a big grassy spot. Used to be where the old home store was located. Patients could purchase items and sell their handmade goods there. And there was also a large Civil War siege cannon there where the veterans like to get their picture taken.
Where's it at now?
I don't know. Somebody got it. This originally started as 355 acres of farmland at a cost of $55,700, which the citizens of Dayton donated $20,000 of that. After the war, winter was approaching. Hundreds of sick and disabled soldiers, homeless, penniless, and almost friendless, were applying for admission. The first winter, 750 disabled soldiers were admitted. By 1898, there were 7,000 veterans that lived at home. The buildings out here were constructed of over 3 million feet of lumber from the former Confederate prisoner of war camp near Camp Chase in Columbus. Within 10 years, all this barren farmland out here had been transformed basically into a little city. Had 132 buildings with a 300-bed hospital. 56 of the buildings had running water, 26 had steam heat, 50 had gas lighting. There were 6.5 miles of road, 2 miles of walkway, 15 miles of sewer, 10 wells, and 4 lakes. Along with all the flowers and the gardens that the veterans took care of, the ones that lived out here. Now that building straight over there, that is building 129. The lower hall was known as the social hall, used by members for visiting, reading, writing, card playing, chess.
You're bringing back some memories.
Yeah?
Yeah. I was a chess champion at Fort Carson back in '72.
Oh, I should play with my son. He knows how to play chess. I never figured out the game.
And you were talking about the buildings there.
Yeah.
My first barracks at Fort Carson was the old mule barns.
Really? really?
Yeah, we lived in 2-story buildings. The mules lived downstairs and we lived up.
Oh, no, I would like that.
Yeah, until summer rolled around and the smell.
Yeah. Now that little brick building over to our right, that was built in 1885. It was used for employee housing. It's currently leased out by the VFW and used as a hospitality guest house, which is kind of like a Fisher House or Ron House. So they pay, I think, maybe $10 a night for that stay if they have someone that's in the hospital. And the old rundown place next to it was built in 1871. It was the home of the original chaplain, Chaplain Earnshaw. He went out here in September of 1867 until his death in 1885. And he was also the first librarian. He cataloged many of the volumes of books that were donated. Oh, that could be. He wore many hats, apparently. The Colonel Harris building right here was built in 1903 as a dom, and it was named in honor of Colonel Leonard A. Make your turns wider. He was a member of the Board of Governors of the National Home from 1876 to facility, and it was constructed to replace the Brown Hospital. The Brown Hospital was located where the main parking lot is now. The VA grounds originally extended to Route 4 Germantown Pike, where the Thomas Hospital was located, and it's currently occupied by the Dayton Job Corps Center. This one here, that, I'm not sure. Yeah, Brown, let's see, that one closed down in 1958. So, it hadn't been not long after that. Yeah. Marcus in the story down here. He knows all the ins and outs of everything. Now, straight ahead of us, where there's now just grass, it's where the deer park used to be located. Back in the day when we had many veterans living out here, there was a deer park, an alligator pond, monkey house, which we will be passing. The red building to the back of engineering back there was a riding station. And of course the veterans took care of everything out here. They took care of all the grounds, the flowers, the grotto, and all the animals. How you doing? Just learned that a couple years ago they used to have horses in a riding center out here. Of course, when we started showing up with our horses, everybody wanted to ride, so the idea came up to get a carriage, and we just got this last year and started doing carriage rides. And we still have people, ask us if they want to ride the horses, and I would hopefully like to someday get it riding center back out here again. And I'd love to do tours around on horseback around the grounds.
Are you a veteran yourself?
I'm not.
You are though.
I'd served veterans. So my dad was in the Navy. He was stationed on the USS Canberra, and I have well, let's see, 6 or 7 uncles and great uncles that all served during World War II. Now, Building 412 is a dom that was built in 1902. It was named after General William B. Franklin, a member of the Board of Managers' home for 22 years. It was a duty barracks, and all the members that lived in there were expected to work. In the beginning, all the veterans that lived out here accomplished about 95% of all the jobs, and today it's used by the Miami Valley Housing Opportunity. So it's basically apartments, and there are veterans and non-veterans that live in there. And to our left is what used to be the old dining hall. It's now a food services building. So it was built in 1940 and consisted of 4 kitchens and 2 dining rooms that sat 1,000 veterans. This is the former Patrick Hospital. It was built in 1940. It was converted to a geriatric hospital in 1950, named after General M.R. Patrick, who was governor of the Soldiers' Home from 1880 to 88. He was a graduate of West Point and served in the Mexican and Civil Wars. Well, the house to our right is called the Freedom House. It was built in 1872 as housing quarters for the chief officers. It's a double residence and was used first by the secretary and the treasurer of the home. Later it became residence for the chief of medicine and the chief of surgery. And back where that little white trailer is, back there behind this other house, that's where the monkey house used to be. It's a little octagonal building. The other house here is known as the Liberty House. It was known as the manager's residence and actually built as an amusement hall containing billiard tables and bagatelle tables and a bowling alley. In the upper portion of the building were the quarters for the home band with a room for studying and practicing. In 1881, when the clubhouse was built, the building was reconstructed into officers' living quarters, and it was last occupied by the medical center director in 1971. Now the area here where the nursing home sits, which is now called the Community Living Center, used to be the parade grounds. Out in front of the nursing home is the gazebo, the band pagoda, and says that nothing is better remembered by generations of Daytonians than the band concerts. The bandstand was built in 1871. It was initially lighted with gas lamps for the evening concerts. The Old Soldiers Band started up in 1870, and by 1909 was ranked second in the nation, right next to the Marine Parade. Other well-known bands played here, including John Philip Sousa. The home band disbanded in 1933. The building to our left was a barracks built in 1899. Replaced the original wood barracks built in 1867. Today it's the Miami Valley Family Care Center for children of the residents of the community and employees out here at the VA. Across the street over here to the right, this is formerly the headquarters building and library. Out in the yard you'll notice the big stone monument. That is a memorial from the USS Maine, which includes a metal plaque from the ship's hull. Now this building is the second oldest building on the grounds. It was built in 1871. Originally the first floor contained offices of the governor, the secretary, the adjutant, and the treasurer. The great feature of this building was the library and reading room on the second and third floors. One of the most beautiful and complete in all of Ohio. And the books that were in there were donated by Mary Lil Putnam in memory of her son who was killed in the Battle of Falls Bluff in October 1861. And of course, after they moved the library out of there, they moved it over here across the street to the Putnam. In this parking lot right here, next to the old headquarters building, is where Memorial Hall used to stand. It held an audience of 1,600. It was a center of amusement life, not only for veterans, but for all of Dayton. Opera companies, bands, orchestras performed there. It was raised in 1956 when it was declared unsafe. The Protestant chapel that we're coming up on was dedicated October 1870. It's the oldest building on the medical center grounds, and it was said to be the first church built with U.S. government funds. The original name of the home is engraved on the stone on the outside wall. Catholic services were also held there until the Catholic chapel was built later on. The installation of the electric organ, which was the first in Montgomery County, was a major news event in 1896. And that concludes our historic tour of the Dayton V.A. Yeah. Yep. That was the Patrick Hospital. We will, yeah,
That's all, folks.